Oh, hold on there. What is up, everyone? Scott Brandt coming to you on this beautiful Tuesday evening in Colorado Springs. And tonight went to a monthly networking event. And anybody that's in Colorado Springs, if you're looking to meet with awesome individuals, highly suggest coming out to the Heartland Connect and just meeting different people, building your network, getting to know other individuals. But it was funny because Brandy and Leo, they were at this event, and they both walked up to me and they're like, "Who is this guy?" And Leo's like, "This guy, I don't know who this guy is." Hey, I'm Leo. I'm like, be quiet here. But he's like, I've never seen you without a hat on. And I was like, well, I've done it a couple times, but it's just so funny when people start like connecting things and end up looking in regards to things that really stick out for you as an individual, what kind of defines who you are as an individual. And so that's actually something that I'm working on right now, is going through one site to just build a hat with our Two Native Sons logo and getting that out there. So looking at getting that done when it gets done. Don't know. We'll find out. But I also have to laugh too, because Patrick had sent me a link for a webcam. I'm using the one off of the computer, and he's like, "Man, this is a great deal." And I was like, "Are you trying to tell me that maybe I should look into it?" He's like, "No, I just think this is a great deal." And then he's like, "No, you probably need to." And I looked at it, and I was like, "Yeah, he's probably right." So today, I think tomorrow too, is like Prime Day. So I ended up going through Amazon. Got a web camera along with some other different pieces of equipment, which I'm excited to get just to enhance what I'm able to do for individuals and whatnot. But a couple big things. Finally got the business registered here in the state. So shout out for that. Shout out to Patrick for getting that done. And then we are finalizing our YouTube channel. So you can go search for Two Native Sons on YouTube. We've got our welcome video that we're just finishing up on it, and then we'll start uploading videos there. So that's another avenue for you as our friends and family to go check it out, subscribe, share it, review it. If you get value from it, share it with other people, because ultimately that's how everything works, is word of mouth, growing it and whatnot. But it was funny because with what Leo and Brandy both had said, I was like, "Oh, you guys have jokes." So it's very funny because I was like, "Okay, let me just go ahead and pull out a couple of the decks for pod decks and run through some cards." And so part of just discussing today, run through a couple of the decks. And the first one that I pulled was "What the Heck?" question. So it's here. Actually, that doesn't work out because it's green. So it's like, I was looking at my shirt too, and there's green boxes here, and I was like, "Oh, that's funny." So think about that. This question that I pulled is said, "Describe your sense of humor in one word." So anybody that's watching this, if you want to share what you think my humor is, go ahead and share it. Would love to hear it. But I think for me, it's just I don't know, one word, sense of humor. It could be inappropriate, not in that way, but I just laugh at everything, regardless if it's funny or not. When I get mad, very, very mad, I start laughing for whatever reason. It's funny. And Miriam's brought that up too. She's like, "Yeah, you laugh at whatever." And I'm probably looking at it, I'd probably be at a funeral and maybe even be laughing there, which is crazy to think. But describe your sense of humor in one word. I guess inappropriate. Not that way, but there are things that Danielle and I were standing next to each other at the event tonight, and I was like, "Hey, you want to hear a couple jokes?" She's like, "No." And then I told her, she's like, we can't stand next to each other." So that may be something to share. I don't know. They were kind of funny and whatnot. So maybe I'll share one. And this one I've seen, and it was, "What did one saggy boob say to the other boob?" And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "We better hurry up and get some support before people think we're nuts." And so I told you, sense of humor sometimes inappropriate. I guess it goes that way too. So, but just funny and whatnot. So, but oh man, as the business is growing with Two Native Sons, there's some things that are taking place behind the scenes that, man, I'm excited for, and just see big things in regards to what's taking place. The empire that's being built that will be there to punch a hole in the universe. It's going to happen. It will take place. It will happen. And so how long that takes, don't know. But it will take place and it will happen, and we will have huge impacts in the lives of others. So I'm excited for that, and excited for individuals that are teaming up with us, seeing the vision, buying into it, and just running with it. So I've got one book that I finished. I'll go through it again, but it was Kevin Hart's I Can't Make This Up Life Lessons. And I was going through here, and it was very, very unique. Two things in here that he had talked about. And one was persistence. And so he talked, more than anything, my willingness to be persistent is responsible for the success I've had. My mindset, it's okay to fail. Right there. You hear it all the time. It's okay to fail. That's part of the learning process. That's part of the growth process. And it's also coming into play where you can't be perfect. Go take imperfect action. Everybody's like, oh, this isn't the perfect time. This isn't the right time. You just give excuses. It's like, screw the excuses. There's never going to be a perfect time. When you say that there's going to be a perfect time, life's going to show up and say, no, there's not. You're going to get a curveball thrown at you, and you're going to be like, okay, well, yeah, you're right. It's not the perfect time. And then so that's where I look at like where Two Native Sons has grown from. And when Patrick and I had talked and sat down and just had our discussion, we were throwing things out and talked about one thing. And I was like, screw it, let's go. Swing the bat, we'll fire away. And right now I feel like if I had hair, it'd be on fire and we'd be going. But that's pretty much, it's going as our hair is on fire. And I don't have hair, so maybe on my face and whatnot. But yeah, it's just here. Hey, here's something else that's coming up. All right, time to start adjusting. Time to do what we need to start planning, putting things into play. But the beautiful thing is we have our experience. We have our life experience, and we have things that we've done before that we're able to draw from that. So it's not like we're reinventing a wheel all over again. No, it's like, okay, we've just got to make some tweaks, grab from what we've done, throw it in here, and then just start planning around it. It's a beautiful thing. And so that's the thing. If you've got something that you want to go after, you got a big dream, big goals, big hopes, go after it. Swing the bat. You're not going to hit anything if you don't go out and swing the bat. So if you want to hit a home run, you've got to swing the bat. Sometimes you're going to strike out. Sometimes you're going to get a single, a double, a triple. But you will make contact and get that home run piece. And so it's just, you can't overthink it. Too many people want to know the whole picture, and you can't see the whole picture. That's just how it works. And that's where it also comes into play too. I was talking to somebody tonight, and we were discussing the fact that a lot of people want to end up going on their own, trying to blaze a path by themselves. And I look at it and I'm like, man, honestly, a lot of what's going on would not be taking place if it was myself. So that's why I'm grateful for the relationships that I have, but I'm extremely grateful for Patrick and his drive, his motivation, his heart, and just him seeing big things. And then we come together and it just blows up. Last night we had a 20-minute conversation about some different things and just things that are popping up. And it's like, it started here and then it just went, it was huge. But going back here to what Kevin Hart was talking about with persistence, he said, my mindset is it's okay to fail, but it's not okay to quit. Struggle, rejection, failure, and doubt break most people. That's true. How many of you have individuals around you that have talked about doing something and then they get in their own head, they have somebody that talks to them and they're like, I can't do it. And they start doubting. And then they miss out on an opportunity to bring something around that somebody else probably needs. And that's why it's popping up. And Patrick and I have talked about this. We hear ideas, we hear thoughts, we hear expressions, but there's not a lot of originality. A lot of things are bleeding into different things. And entrepreneurship, a lot of times what it is somebody is looking at a product or a service, and it's called the consumption chain. They're looking at this consumption chain and they're like, okay, what is broken in this consumption chain? And what can I do to fix that product, to fix this consumption chain? And it's the other thing too, is working in the problem space, looking at the problem space, finding out what the problem is and knowing what the problem is and knowing it's your audience, and coming back and working on a solution to come back. You can't create a solution and try to present it this way. It's very tough. A lot of people try to create a solution and then go face the problem with that solution. No, it's backwards. And that's tough because sometimes it's not logical thinking, and we want to have a solution for the problem, but you've got to know the problem. You got to do a deep dive. And so with what we're doing with Two Native Sons, it's been a deep dive because Patrick and I have conversations, and it's just an explosion with conversation comes up, and then we're like, nope, this is something that truly somebody needs to bring in. And so that's what we're doing. And so, like I said, if you've got something going on, don't hesitate to put it into fruition and whatnot. Your goal is to learn from these challenges without letting them diminish your motivation. And motivation, I've heard it stated that it's doing the thing you said you were going to do long after the feeling is gone of what you wanted to do. Too many people are like, man, I don't have the motivation. Well, was what you were talking about truly was motivating you? Or was it like, oh, this is great. This is a great idea. And then it's like, man, there's a lot of work that's going into it. It's not going to be easy. I'm good. So it's just things to think about and whatnot. The secret to accomplishing this is simple. Let yourself be driven by your will to succeed rather than your fear of not succeeding. And I've talked about this a couple of times. The fact that when people are shown an idea, given an idea, something blossoms in their brain, their spirit, their heart, they start looking and saying, okay, what can go wrong? So if anybody that's watching this, if you're watching it live right now and you have something that you've thought about, but you didn't chase after it, if you want to share what that fear was, love to hear that. If you catch this on the replay and you're like, yeah, it's going to be courageous. Let me talk about what I feared. But then I would ask you, when you're thinking about, okay, what did I fear? What would life look like if that fear wasn't there? Because it's probably still something you may be dealing with. So my question to you would be, what would life look like if that fear wasn't there? Or what would life look like if you overcame that fear, embraced it, and pushed you forward to go do something big? So it's one of those things that, what would life look like in a year if you went after that dream or goal that you had? What would your life look like? And what would your future self say to you in regards to you actually going after your goal? What would your future self say to you right now? And so this is stuff that you've got to think. It's that future visioning and understanding that as you're thinking about this vision, thinking about what life can look like, now you got to start working backwards and saying, okay, what roadblocks are in my way that's going to keep me from getting there? And so when it gets tough, you got to remember that future that you've been chasing after, that future that you're dreaming of, because it's not easy. But this is the beautiful thing of when you're doing something, having that teammate, having your tribe around you. And that's why I'm blessed to have Patrick and working together. Sharon said, I think my future self would say, I told you so. I told you so that you could do it. And I know that Sharon, you and Patrick have talked. You got some things that you're working in regards to your craft with what you do with nails. And it's a beautiful thing. Don't doubt yourself. People speak highly of the work that you put out. Trust yourself. And I know that's something that Patrick has told me. So you do have some big things that you're working on, which I'm excited to see what's going to come out of this and what you're able to do with the knowledge that you have to pass on to that apprentice that you bring on. And think about the impact that you can have by having an apprentice that you mold and mentor, and they go and impact another life. Because think about how many women you make feel really good about themselves. It's nails, but it's one of those things that I know a lot of women love their nails. Yes, I'm the chicken in the relationship. You're not the chicken. I would say if you've listened to Patrick speak before, he gives you a lot of props. A lot of what he's doing is because of what you have shown him. And so you're not the chicken. You've actually, based on what Patrick has stated and what he's told me, you really have inspired him. So don't look at yourself as the chicken. I think what you've done before, it was easy. And this is something that listening to Dean Graziosi and what his wife has done. She was a highly sought after hairdresser, and she would not give herself the credit that was due, because Dean would be like, so why are people driven to get your service? Why do people want to be around you? And she's like, it's just my work ethic. But he's like, no. And then they started going back, and she's like, you're right. At one point it clicked for her. And so I would say for yourself, Sharon, you're not the chicken in the relationship. You gave Patrick a lot of courage and a lot of push and drive to where he's at now. And I know he speaks highly of this. And so I think as individuals, we have the worst time of being our worst critic. And don't sell yourself short. Go look at your clients. Go talk to your clients. Maybe have them send a video testimony that you can upload and share with other people about what you've done and how you make these individuals feel. And then you can see and be like, man, I have had a lot of impact, and you're not a chicken. Because Patrick has brought it up, 5% of individuals are entrepreneurs. And so I'm blessed and grateful to be in your guys' lives. I'm blessed to have you guys in my life. And I'm excited for just everything that's happening, just how things cross over, branch over. So I'm grateful that I was able to meet your husband about a year ago. It may have been, I don't know, but it's been some time. But I'm just grateful because I get to see the success of other people. I get to cheer other people on, and it's huge. And that's the beautiful thing about what's happening in a lot of our lives is if we look at it at a different way, we have an opportunity to see the collaboration taking place. And we can be very beneficial to each other, because as we start dreaming bigger and have these big dreams, and we have a big vehicle that people can jump in with us, then we can help them go after their dreams and push together. So it's a beautiful thing. And I'm grateful just where I'm at and what has happened in my life. I'm grateful for it. So thank you. But in regards here, I think I finished it up. So persistence, let yourself be driven by your will to succeed rather than your fear of not succeeding. And I think that's very important. And then there's one other thing, but wanted just to kind of change this up a little bit, have this interaction here with individuals that are watching on the replay, anything of that nature. And so the next deck I have here is Would You Rather. So I highly suggest anybody that does lives, and I don't know why that's like that, because that dex is yellow. And it's crazy, whatever. But if you are doing lives, if you're broadcasting, if you're thinking about doing a podcast, or if you're doing a podcast, look into getting these as a tool. It's something a little bit different. It's going to set you apart a little bit different, and it's a way to create engagement. And so if you're interested on getting your own set of pod decks, you can go to poddex.com, and then I have a code that you can utilize that will give you 10% off of your first purchase, and it's Let's Go 26, so capital LETSGO. So the L is the only capitalized, and then as the cat is making noises, but capital L, and then everything else is lowercase, and you can utilize that, get 10% off your first order. But I also know Travis has created a application right now. It's on Apple, and there's actually like 12 decks in there, so it's a lot more. But if you're thinking about podcasting, or you're doing it, or you're doing lives, get these. It's just something that you can utilize to increase engagement with people and whatnot. And so, would you rather have very fat arms with skinny legs, or vice versa? So fat arms with skinny legs. But I guess if you look at that though, or vice versa, so skinny arms with fat legs, what do you consider fat? I don't know. I think I would I don't know. I guess have bigger upper body and the skinny lower body. But then I guess I'm going fat arms with skinny legs. And I'll just say I just got really big into bodybuilding, so it made me huge and whatnot. So that's why I look that way. So anybody that thinks about that, oh man, good times there. So just something to make you laugh. Here we go, sense of humor again. But then with Kevin Hart too in this book, he was talking about positivity. What you put out is what you get back. It's like a boomerang. And so that's one of those things that I talk about. Are you stacking negative thoughts? And if you're stacking negative thoughts, then what are you attracting? What's coming into your life? And if you're getting mad because like everything is bad and everything is happening that you don't want to happen, look at your thoughts. The power of your thoughts. And I've talked about it before. Your thoughts are going to lead to feelings. Your feelings are going to lead to actions. Your actions are going to lead to results. Same thing here. And so if you want to achieve positive goals and experience positive relationships, then put out positivity. And this is the thing that you're not always going to be positive. If you have a bad day, embrace that. It's okay. We're human. Embrace the feelings, because to grow, you have to experience the full gamut. To grow, you have to have that discomfort. And sometimes discomfort is not positive. Sometimes it sucks. And you're like, there's nothing positive that's going to come out of this. But if you look at it, you're going to find a seed of positivity. But it may also be you have to get through that situation. You turn around and look back and say, yep, it sucked, but this is what came out of it that was good. And so it's just one thing to think about. If someone else is putting out negativity, then maneuver around them like you would a puddle on the ground. If you respond with negativity, you will only get dragged into the mud. It is a talent to stay positive and avoid negativity in the face of sometimes cruel, unfair, and indifferent world. Cultivate that talent. It's the secret to living a happy life. And I think that is something, when you truly think about it, a talent to stay positive, because for whatever reason, we're always trying to find the negative in everything. And that's one of the tough things with social media is the negativity that may be spread on there. And so hopefully by me going live, sharing what I do, doing different things, hopefully I can shake that up. I can't guarantee it because everybody's going to look at it differently. And I can't judge people for how they look at life through their lens. We look through our own lens. And so we've got to love each other. But if you take a step back and if you can kind of see how that person's viewing life, and you may have an opportunity to be empathetic with that person, and just sit there with them. But you've got to be the agent of change. Change is only going to start with you. And a lot of times to really project and create change, it starts with you working on your inside, which is going to impact your outside. But a lot of people allow the outside world to impact their inside. And that's not a good thing, because you can't control what's going on the outside. You can control what's going on the inside. You can control your emotions. You can control how you're feeling. You can control your thoughts. And so that's why if you want change to occur, it starts with you, and ultimately it starts inside. Work on the inside, your heart, your mind, your soul, your mindset piece. And as you're growing, that's going to go out. That's going to impact people. And so you have that choice. Are you going to take control and have your choice be that you control everything or control what you can? Or are you going to let things that you can't control dictate what happens? And so it's just some things to consider and think about. And then let me see here. My other deck. See what's going on here. This one is the interview deck. So we'll see what we get with this one. And then I have one other thing. And it's just coming from the book that I highly recommend people get into, read, take a deep dive, because there's a lot that you can take from this book and really implement and create a lot of change, starting with yourself. And there it goes again, is change starts with you. Nobody else can do it for you. You got to do it yourself, and you have to be your own hero, and it's your hero's journey. And so if you're going on this hero's journey and you're coming back the same person that you were when you left, that's not a good thing. And then you get mad, you have regret, and you're like, this sucks. You're on your deathbed and you're like, man, I wish I would have done this, but I didn't because I let people get in my ears and whatnot. So let's see here. Can't think of anything for that one. Let's see here. All right. Who is your favorite hero of fiction? Let's see. For myself, who is your favorite hero of fiction? Man, that would be the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. That dude, man, if I could get that ripped and big all of a sudden and be able to run through walls and smash things and crush things, there we go. Just, I don't know. Who's your favorite hero of fiction? That would be the Incredible Hulk. Enjoy the big guy, the big green guy. Let's go. So the last piece that really sticks out, and you could look at it different ways. You can look at this in regards to, this may not be for you because of what you've been told, the paradigm that's been stuffed in your head. And so it depends on how you look at it. And so this comes from The Buddha and the Badass, a book I highly recommend. A lot of people speak highly of Think and Grow Rich. For me, this is one that really speaks a lot of volume, has a lot of value that you can gather from this and implement. And so in here, Vashin was talking, share what you plan to achieve everywhere and with everyone. Get obsessed and excited about your goals. Speak to other people with a level of excitement as if you've already achieved your goals. You'll attract the people you need that will help you make your idea a reality. You'll find your goals are self-fulfilling prophecies. And so I think that's a tough one when you really think about it, because people are like, I don't want to tell people about my goals because what if they laugh at me? What if they say it can't be done? What if somebody says that's impossible? It can't be done. Oh, keep telling me that. Let me know that. That way I can go really find out a way and show you that it is possible. But then you have other people that are scared too, because they're like, man, somebody's going to steal my idea. I've talked about this, and Vashin has talked about this. Every business can be imitated. What's going to separate your business from everybody else, though, is your story. Nobody can steal your story. Your story is who you are. Your story is your core. And so with things that Patrick and I are doing with Two Native Sons, it can be imitated. It's like anything else. Business can be imitated. And I've talked about it. We're not everybody's cup of tea. You're not everybody's cup of tea. You got too many people that want to appease everybody, want to make everybody your friend. Good luck with that, because you may have somebody that's just angry and mad and hates the world, and you're like, I want you to be my friend. I don't know. Do you truly want that person to be your friend if they have this negative outlook on life? Because maybe you're like, I can change them. Good luck. Are you changing yourself? How much energy you're putting out to try to change people, and you need to change yourself. You need to work on yourself. And so it's one of those things that the things that we're working on, I shared openly. I talk about different things. And so what I started with at the beginning of this video, just talking about the empire that's going to be built, the empire that's going to stretch very large. I talked to Patrick, and what really hit me was becoming $1 billion empire. That's a lot of money, but you know what? With what we have planned, with what we know we can do, and the impact that's going to take place, it's going to take money. And when you hear the word money, this may make you really question. and you'll be like, man, he's talking about money. How do you view money? Money is just energy. Money is just a vehicle. Money is just a tool that is going to allow you to achieve big things. But how do you view money? And so this is one of those paradigm things that have been stuffed in our head, that some people will be like, money's bad. Money is not good. How do you expect to achieve a large goal then? You got to have money. And so I'm not, there are things that are popping up that Patrick and I have talked about. And it's one of those things that you look and you're like, are you sure? Are you really sure? Like I've talked to Patrick, and there was last week I was sitting there thinking, and all of a sudden, like in my mind's eye, in my mind, I saw an airplane. It's like, Patrick, we're going to have our own airline. Watch, we're going to make a disruption in the airline, because Patrick, with his customer service and what he brings, is huge. And so, yeah, it's one of those lofty goals, which is okay. It's an audacious goal, and it's all right with me, because that's going to attract the people that we need. And so I'm excited. And so having an empire that will be $1 billion, it's all right. I'm looking forward to that. I know it's going to be a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, but what that does for a lot of people and the impact that's going to be made, if you see it and you're getting excited, join with us. Come up. Yeah, sharing over here depends on how you utilize it. Money is not evil unless you use it for evil. And that's true, because somebody brought this up, that with money, if you're a jerk and you have a lot of money, you're just going to be a bigger jerk with more money. If you're a very gracious individual, somebody that likes to give back to people, having more money is going to allow you to do that. So yeah, it depends how it's utilized. So I know 2 native sons, we have a lot in the hopper. We have a lot on the plate. We have a lot that's going down the pipeline. And I'm excited, and it's coming up, and it's like, man, I didn't think it was going to happen this quick, but it's okay. We've talked, and we're putting it out in the universe, and it's coming back, and we're ready for it, ready to go make this impact, go make big things. And just really excited to, I don't even know. Lots of words right now. So, but thank you guys for your time. Like I say, if there was any aha moments that you picked up from this talk, anything that resonated with you, share it. If you're watching this on the replay, share it, put it in the comments. If there's something that maybe you look at it differently, great. Want to hear it, because I'd love to hear your opinion. That's your opinion, and it allows me to kind of look and see if there's something that I'm missing. And I always talk about this. I'm like, don't hesitate from your opinion. Don't shy back from your opinion. Share it. Would love to truly hear what's going on in your mind and whatnot, and how you think and how you see things. It's a beautiful thing. And then also, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have a vision, and you just don't feel like you don't have anybody that you can connect with, you don't have anybody that resonates with you, you don't have that support, you don't have the tribe, reach out to myself, reach out to Patrick. That's the biggest thing with this, is helping people have inspired action to go do it. And so it's just sitting down with people and helping them like pick out and brainstorm and do what they need to, connect them where they need to be connected, and help people out. So don't hesitate. If you've got something that you truly want to go after, reach out. And don't have this idea that, oh man, I need to make sure I know everything. No, if you don't know everything, cool. That's even better. It truly is, because that's going to allow you to be open to talk to people and listen to people and hear from other people and take in the experience of other people. And it allows you to have that open mind. So thank you guys for your time. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys later. All right. Peace.